Hello, hello, hello. And we are live again, which is quite exciting. With a topic I think we that has grown on us, we've grown to love, and maybe especially as every day we witness the crisis, which right now I can say this is global. I think we all saw the conversation that went on yesterday, White House, with our neighboring country's president, and that is a big wake-up call. Because when you look at it, it's still shortage of skills. That's what we're addressing. When we talk about crime, when we talk about our youth, when we talk about mental health, bottom line, the struggle is real. So this is Miss Kim, your podcast host, Africa's STEM Queen, a name that I love, that was given by Nigerians. Nigerians, shout out if you're in the house. You give me that name. I appreciate you. We are live on quite a number of platforms, and please tell us where you're joining us from. I cannot see everyone. I think you can only see comments on LinkedIn. For those who are joining us from LinkedIn, are you on YouTube? Are you on Facebook? Join us. This is the conversation that we're inviting you to have. We don't pose and claim to have all the answers. We want to have a conversation. We want to listen to you. We want to nurture those ideas. And most important, we want to instill the real inspiration on you can. We all have something to offer. You can. We can change our realities. We can live a better life. I'm joined in by my very special guest, a mom, an entrepreneur, um, a person with a big passion and a big heart for people in Africa. And let me not steal her voice. I'll pass the mic over to her to do her intro. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Kim, and hello to everyone who's joining us this afternoon, this very cold afternoon here in Gaborone, Botswana. So, welcome to this exciting podcast. I'm excited. Miss Kim is very kind. I am passionate about people and building people. And this podcast is especially meaningful. So, not just for those who want to start a side hustle, as Miss Kim calls it, or a business, but mainly because it's important for all of us to learn new skills. And as Miss Kim, she's painted a picture about our world and where we're going. And one of the things I know for sure is that it's not too late to start. But for those young people who've joined us, the hope that I have is that you will start sooner than later so that you start picking up all the skills that you need to be self employed. That's what I'm pushing. I'd like for young people to start their own businesses and become employers. So here's to a very exciting podcast with Miss Kim as our expert when it comes to anything AI and technology. I'm excited to be part of this conversation and hoping that we will be able to address some of the questions that you may have on, what is it that you need to start a side hustle. I'm going to be keenly listening, Miss Kim, because I know I'm probably one of your biggest experiments, if I can call it that. So let's see how we do in answering some of the questions that I'm hoping we'll receive, but some of the questions that you already know and have in terms of people feeling stuck, people feeling a little bit useless because they're not quite sure what's this technology thing and how they can utilize it. So thanks for the invitation, Miss Kim. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.
And thank you so much, Miss Judith. And you know what? You just reminded me a conversation that like really shook the parliament in Tanzania about 2 or 3 years ago, when one of the ministers said, I wish I could just say it in Kiswahili because it was so beautiful. He said it with a
First,
lot of passion.
say it
Ma?
first in Kiswahili. I'm saying, say it first in Swahili, then you'll translate. You never
I
know. There
just
might be someone listening who understands. Yeah,
and
go
of course
for it.
we have AI that can translate anything. But I just wish I
Absolutely.
could say it. Yeah. Now my only trouble is what if I don't say it the right Swahili, because that's the other challenge. But I'm just gonna try. I'm gonna give it a go. He said it with a lot of passion, a lot of energy. He said, mnaambie vijana wajitafutie, oh, what's the Swahili word for work? Ajira. To create their own jobs. How do you expect them to create your own jobs when you yourself you're employed right here by taxpayers because you don't know how to create your own job?
Mm.
It
Yeah.
was so beautiful. I'll check on YouTube and share the link. And he said it was such a wake up call because this is something that we are constantly reprimanding our youth and everybody out there looking for a job. That go create your
Yep.
job. What if you don't
Yep.
know how to? What if you don't have basics? You
Yeah.
know, when you are on survival mode, it's difficult to create. You just
Yeah.
want to pay the bills. You just want to get the next meal. So sometimes
Yeah.
some of these things sound so far fetched. Sometimes when you talk
Yeah.
about get this skill, the platforms are free, do this and that, people are thinking about how can I even create time to do that when I have to do this other thing just to make sure that my kids can eat every day. Right now,
Yeah.
this is my priority. Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
it's quite critical. And when we look at our continent, we need to think about it on the reverse. We are the youngest continent with 60% of our youth under 35. And that truly is a great asset. But here
Mm.
is the issue of how do we create an enabling environment? How do we upskill them so they can then fulfill and monetize those skills that they have? But they need, we've all had, I love Trevor Noah's quote where he says, nobody, there's no success alone. There's no overnight success. There's nothing like I succeeded alone. We've all had people hold our hands for us to get to where we are. And
Mm.
we still are. I personally have so many mentors, so many teachers. A lot of them don't even know they're my mentors. But I have
Yeah.
my go, yeah. Especially when I think about my LinkedIn journey, I was feeling very helpless. Remember very well, 2017, my business had gone belly up. I had lost my house, I had lost my investments, and my kids then were still in high school, and I was feeling like literally going back to my mama's couch at the age of 40 plus. And somebody, I was just scrolling. Because for me, one of the greatest assets I feel we should always try to have, I think you strip me bare if you take my cell phone, my smartphone away from me, and my internet.
Mm.
Do anything,
Mm.
but don't take those two. So I'm scrolling, just thinking, what next? Then somebody comes on. I didn't even know the potential on LinkedIn. I wasn't that active, but I'm just chatting with somebody, and I just go like, "What opportunities are there in the US?" And this person tells me, "There's a lot of work to be done anywhere. You don't have to be in the US for you to make money."
Yeah.
And then, but then, we always have that tendency of thinking the grass is greener elsewhere when we are
Mm.
despondent with life. So for me, my
Mm.
escape route was I need to leave Africa and I need to leave right now. And then this person tells me, you have a smartphone, you have internet, you're on LinkedIn. You're going to make money from LinkedIn. And guess what? I think that's why I still call it my pot of gold, the gift that keeps on giving. And
Mm.
maybe that's why my commitment, my passion for it goes borderline obsession.
Yes. Some of us have seen and learned that.
I don't
Absolutely.
even, I have days that I want to do a digital detox. I want to be off all platforms as we should all do. But please always allow me, just I like my birthday 2 weeks ago, I played a game called Scrappy.
Uh-oh. Miss Kim? I don't know if it's me. To our valued listeners and our guests who are attending, please give me a moment to see what's happening with Miss Kim. And we'll be back in a couple of minutes. We apologize for that.
Thank you for staying online.
Okay, you're back.
I'm back. And my apologies, but precisely the challenges we're talking about, precisely our internet challenges. I'm having the biggest package I could ever get because
I think, yeah.
is it better now?
Yeah, you're back. I can hear you.
Yes. And thank you for staying and waiting for us. And welcome to Africa and bespoke Botswana. Those are the challenges we face. I've tried to actually get the biggest, the best package I could get so that I don't get interruptions, but there it goes. It happens. So let me carry on with my presentation before something else happens. And what we are here to discuss is encourage everybody who is out there struggling with, I need an income, I have bills to pay, I don't know where to start, I don't have a skill, and it's all gray. I've been there. I won't say we've all been there. I've been there. Some of us are lucky enough not to know what is being broke, what is feeling desperate, and what is losing your self esteem, which can take a toll on a lot of us. I've experienced like super smart people that I'll go like, why aren't you monetizing your skill? Why aren't you posting what you're doing? Why aren't you leveraging on the exposure you have? And they'll tell you, I don't even know how you do it. I'm not brave enough to do it. But what I'd love to say, I've had moments like to date, I'm still very scared of Facebook. I'm still trying to be courageous enough to be on TikTok. Online bullying is real. It happens, and it has happened to me as well. But sometimes you really have to choose your struggle. Struggle is everywhere. I don't get online, then there's no food for my kids. I get online, I might have to see how to deal with bullies if they're there, and it's not always. And the platforms that is truly a lot of decorum, especially LinkedIn. You hardly get somebody who you go like, why did you say that? So now we want to address on what opportunities
Miss Kim, we seem to have lost you again. Okay, let me try and step in.
I think
Okay, there you go. You're back. I don't know if it's me or if it's your internet, Miss Kim. We seem to have lost you again. Okay, we seem to be having challenges this afternoon with the reception. So let me just try and step in for Miss Kim whilst she sorts out her challenges on her side, and hopefully she'll be back to join us because she'll be running with the bulk of the presentation. And let me jump in by just talking about my journey with LinkedIn and how I initially struggled having joined many years ago. Miss Kim, are you good? I was
wow.
just
I don't know. Thank
I
you.
just jumped in to say to give a little bit of background about me and my journey on LinkedIn and the fear, and how one short post at a time. I think I'm getting there slowly but surely, and just as a way of encouraging folks who really haven't paid attention to what LinkedIn, just as an example, and how what LinkedIn can do and how it can help you, whether it's to land the job or make the connections that you need to make to start and run a business. So I'm gonna hand over back to you, Miss Kim, with a prayer that you'll be able to continue with the presentation. It will
Okay.
be well, and this can happen. It can happen anywhere. It's not just an Africa thing. Maybe there are particular
Yes.
challenges that we have, but this can certainly happen everywhere. So please bear with us, and we will get right back to it, Miss Kim.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you for holding fort. And thank you, our listeners. Just hang in there. I can see a lot of very engaging and good questions. I think the platform has lost some of the questions I'd seen, but I saw somebody who was asking if they're going to get a replay. Yes, you're going to get a replay, and this is going to be on YouTube as well. And I'll share the link on LinkedIn after this and on Facebook. And thank you, yes, and thank you for sharing that we all start from somewhere. A big shout out to Tumelo, Lilian Cabello. Hey, Mappy, there it was my network. And Lilian says no sound. I hope the sound is back now. We have our behind the scenes tech team. Hey, Shell, big shout out to you. I hope you're managing our tech side. So yes, let's address this the big issue. I'd call it the big elephant in the room. Constantly create your own job. Look for side hustle.
Hey, Miss Kim, can you hear me? Okay, we've lost Miss Kim again. Please bear with us. Hopefully, she'll come back in a couple of moments. But let me just take over from her and try to address some of the comments that she's put on her slide. Miss Kim, are you back? Okay, so
Are we back?
you're back, Miss Kim. I'm just wondering if you should kill the slideshow and just, I don't know. It's not, today is just not, I'm not sure what's going on.
And it's been so good for so long.
Yeah, but
And
just
when I
run with
look,
it. Let's, yeah.
let's try. In the meantime, I'm going to try to get on a different laptop, which Lelet is bringing for me. Which I mean, it's just silly. I want to blame the internet on the laptop, which may not be the case. So, but let me just try to be quick. Otherwise, what we do when this starts happening, we pre-record and then we share. So if you're online and you're missing out because you keep on getting these glitches, we'll still clean it up and share with you a fresh video that you can be able to understand or to get some of the gems we want to drop in here. But hang in there, a lot of goodies coming up. Now, let's look at get for me on the platform. Let's look at what are these opportunities that are there and what can we do and how can we be able to leverage on use the internet and the smartphone. I think if we are on 87% smartphone um, penetration within the continent, which means literally every household has access to a smartphone. And this one, I'm sharing the statistics of within COVID when we had to train children in different parts of the continent using the smartphones. And research was done, studies were presented that yes, it can be done because the smartphone penetration is very high. Access to internet as well, we actually getting there and moving pretty fast. Some cases, like in Botswana, I think now we have the chiefs centers as hotspots. So we can be able to access these tools. We can be able to access literally internet. I'm pretty aware that not everybody can, but I'll still Um, Miss Shiodit, are you there?
Please accept our apologies to our valued listeners and guests. I think the best thing that we can do at this point is perhaps to ask you if you could kindly share all the questions that you may have had for Miss Kim and this presentation. What is it that you hope to get out of it? And we'll see if we are unable to come back in about 5 minutes, then we will possibly have to postpone this to another day and time. We will update on all the platforms, so we do apologize for this. Let me just see if I can get a hold of Miss Kim to find out what the next steps are going to be. We really appreciate your support and your patience this afternoon.
Hi, Miss Shiodit, are you there?
Emma, I'm still
Um,
here.
I'm not sure if we should try to do it offline. We clean it, we pre-record, and then we share with our audience, or we try one more time.
I think maybe what we should do is if you can just run through, let's get rid of the videos. Maybe that's what's also causing this. And
Yeah.
let's just share, we have 30 minutes left. I think let's just highlight some of the key things that you wanted to share this afternoon. And then I've asked everyone to share their questions and comments. What is it that they hope to get out of this session so that we can schedule another podcast at another time? But let's try it without the videos, if that's okay.
Okay. Thank you very much, and thank you, our listeners. Thank you for your patience with us. Yeah, I liked it when we try to blame our continent with all the issues. Thank you, Miss Judith, for saying this can happen anywhere and anytime. So I'm going to just go straight to the presentation in the interest of time as well. So we're looking into, first and foremost, I think we can all agree on we all have a gift, we have a talent. We all have something unique that we can offer the world. And this can be something that it can even be cooking, it can be cleaning, it can be you're a very good driver, you know how to plait hair. We all have something in us, our God-given talent. And what we need to look into is how can we use that God-given talent to bring in some income? Sometimes you might find that given God-given talent just needs a little bit of tweaking, a little bit of polishing, and we monetize it. When I look at a lot of people that I have come from like literally struggles and now they're doing extremely well, we have so many that just woke up and realized I have potential in something. My personal journey has not been easy. And I've been in business like all my life, which happens to be sort of one of those things that you end up realizing. I don't think the corporate world or employment is quite my thing. So I need to nurture the skill of just being an entrepreneur. I was employed for 1 year. And from that 1 year, that was straight from campus, I've not wanted to get into employment. Even when my businesses go belly up, it's never an option. But I also want to be clear on it's not for everyone. Not everyone can do that. And there's nothing wrong with being employed. We have people serving the world and serving humanity in such amazing ways as employees. But here is what I've realized and come to sort of nurture and use again and again. Every time the chips come down, I look into what are my fundamental assets, as I love calling them? What is that God given gift that I can utilize to put food on the table? It has not always been easy. There are sleepless nights. There's also fulfillment that comes with it. There are a lot of mistakes I've made along the way. And within that When you look into, I can garden, but then how do I commercialize my gardening skill? I can knit, I can teach, I can cook, I love pets. Can I start a pet training and turn it into business? There's always something that you can look into within your space and work on how you can monetize it. Now, currently, when we're looking at this age and this space we are in, with that high smartphone penetration within the continent, that is one great asset that we need to look into. How do we utilize it? Anytime that I feel like I'm grounded, I don't know what to do, I look into what do I have? Let me not focus on what I don't have, but what do I have? As long as I have a smartphone, I have access to internet, I should be in a position of getting myself from point A to point B. And when we work on monetization, growth is never easy. It comes with challenges. You might feel like I have a product that I can monetize, but my only way of monetizing it, I need to get on Facebook, I need to get on WhatsApp, I need to get on TikTok, I need to learn how to use Canva. There could be some discomfort. I'm personally still very uncomfortable with Facebook. I'm very, very active as a company, which is something you should leverage on. You don't want to, you don't, at this time and point in life, you don't really have to show your face on social media for you to make money using social media. I'm very, very comfortable with WhatsApp, and my WhatsApp status is my business tool. Literally every day I post something. You have to remain relevant, you have to be seen. I'm very uncomfortable with TikTok. I'm trying to learn how to get on TikTok. I'm extremely comfortable on LinkedIn. I can post anything every day. I post literally every day on LinkedIn, and it's my go to space. That's where I've found home, I've found my tribe. You don't have to capitalize on using every platform. Plus, you also need to understand that every product has its space. LinkedIn is very good for B2B. So sometimes I'll be pushing even my B2C projects on LinkedIn, but it's full of CEOs that are constantly thinking about how do I scale up my business. Facebook has its, you can do your B2B and you can meet individuals that are there posting every day. Instagram, TikTok, the same. So choose one that at least you can focus on and learn to be so good at it. And you'll find it's very easy for you to transition and get into using any other platform. The only thing that you can't afford not to do, if your business is not online this day and age, you're not in business. You are setting yourself for failure. I understand and I appreciate there are people who are still making money and they're not on social media platform, which still keeps on impressing me. But then again, we need to look into how many years have they been in business? What is their network? How else are they investing? Are they leveraging on the friends that they have that post on their behalf, or they just tell their story? Were they born with a silver spoon that they have capital to use for them to keep on doing the traditional marketing? So, right now, my focus is on anybody who is on a shoestring budget or who literally has no money but needs to make money. So, you've got to just be brave enough. It's not as easy done as said, but then what's easy? Taking kids to bed without food or struggling every day, no airtime, no transport to work, or just going like, I mean, what do we say, if it's if it's I mean, just be brave and get online. It's not as easy, but at the minute you start, you just dip your toes in there. Day one gets uncomfortable, day two you try, you find you're getting used to it. Maybe within a week or two you go like, this is home, I'm very comfortable doing this. What we can't afford not to do is to try. We have to try, we have to do. We don't have so many choices. Miss Judith, it's unfortunate I can't see your beautiful face. Do you want to contribute to the conversation? Some questions?
Yes, actually, I was about to ask if I could interrupt you, Miss Kim. Thank you very much for that. I have a couple of questions. The first one is around maintaining your privacy. Some folks are very private. They don't want to put their lives on social media. they want to be a business person on social media. So, and I know you are very open, looking at some of the things that you post about a lot of things. So I wanted you to comment on that. But the second question that I have for you as well, Miss Kim, is if you could, because for somebody listening who has never done this before, it can be very overwhelming. Okay, so you want me to just get on with it. How do I get on with it? Where do I even start? I have a LinkedIn account that I started 10 years ago. And I look into it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I only have 50 followers or 50 connections. Where and how do I start? I want you to please break it down. It might be a bit challenging because I know you've come very far. But for those folks who are online who've never done this and who really would like to try it, can you give us a guide? How do I start? Where do I start? And since LinkedIn is your preferred um, channel or platform, let's talk about LinkedIn. How do you get going with LinkedIn? Thanks.
Thank you very much. And I really appreciate the fact that sometimes, yes, we can sound like a little bit obnoxious. Some of us who are just good to go. We don't even think twice to get on social media. I'm literally, and I can be any day, a walking billboard. It doesn't bother me. Of course, like I've said, I have some platforms that I'm still scared of getting into. So let me answer. Let me start with your first question. How do you still monetize and not be on social media? Currently, with the advent and the use of AI, which this will be a separate podcast to explain to you in detail what platforms you can use, what AI tools you can use to be able that you're still monetizing whatever product you have without showing your face. You've seen so many, you can actually run a world class podcast, which literally it will be your voice. And I know Miss Judith right now, she's about to just get on my neck. I have cloned my voice that I can produce a podcast and you will never tell that wasn't me. So I don't need to show my face. And if you using social media a lot, you can see there's so much content. I have close to 50,000 followers across our company social media pages. You hardly see my face. All the Edustore Africa, Discovery Club, Destination Imagination Africa, Destination Imagination Botswana, I hardly show my face. But we religiously still post every day. So you truly do not have to. What you need to focus on is what problem are you solving? How are you adding value? And then, of course, create a community. Social media, don't get on it on just being salesy. Get on it to serve, to give. You have to get there with the intention to uplift other people's life. And of course, this is so critical. As you share that, you need to be authentic. Don't worry about being perfect. Just be authentic. You don't need to have a polished brand. You just need to be real. Tell your real story. Talk about your journey, your values, your struggles, and what you're learning. Just make it consistency. Just be consistent. Make sure you're showing up literally every day. That gets into me answering your second question, especially on how to leverage LinkedIn. Create your community. That is so important. First, focus on you create a very good profile, which already attracts people on your platform. It can be a huge ocean, and you're not selling to everyone, which gets back to branding. So, I'm an educator and I want to get in touch with educators specifically in Botswana, specifically in Gaborone, specifically focusing on government schools, right? The content that you keep on posting, what you're sharing, you'll attract. The algorithm shows you and sends you to the like minded. Look for people you look up to that you can learn from. I think if there's a place that you see humanity and people willing to share, literally what they know, it's on social media. You'll find people that sit and research to show the best courses, to show their best practice. So if you just start with that, show up, talk about your journey, talk about your hassles, talk about what you're learning. We're all doing something. Whether you're farming, you're doing chicken pork farming, whatever you're doing, show up and talk about it. Within no time, you will create your tribe. I have created some businesses just from the community that I surround myself on. If you think about LinkedIn is a platform with 1.2 billion people. Think about that. Literally 1.2 billion people. I think they talk about 20 million people show up every day on LinkedIn. So think about the potential of you monetizing. Could it be your skill? Anything that you want the world to know by putting it up there. What I want to emphasize on is I don't want it to sound like I'm a snake oil business person. You don't strap your fingers and get it. You invest in it. It's a skill that you still master. But guess what? You can monetize without having to go to school and sit in front of anyone to learn. The world's biggest and best university is YouTube. You can get on YouTube, look for influencers who teach people on how to use these social media platforms, and within no time, you'll be so good at it. I have not paid anyone for me to learn how to use LinkedIn. I've literally just shown up and done a lot of lessons. I've listened to a lot of people. I've followed influencers. I've tried to follow the best practice on how to post. Does that answer your question?
Absolutely, Miss Kim, and I appreciate it. I think what is evident is that it's a process. It takes time, but I love your emphasis on be authentic and be yourself. Share your story, and sharing your story in a way that will create a community for you, and that community will help you eventually help and support the business that you bring to them. I know that it's also a great place to make connections with people who are all over the world, who are interested in the line of work or the area of concern that you have. So but having said all of that, I think it requires a little bit more you know, more time for those folks who haven't yet started really utilizing LinkedIn to get it. But thank you, Miss Kim, for that. We can move on.
Thank you. Thank you. Just allow me to mention some of the tools that you can use as we move to the next topic. Some of the tools you can use that are actually free, literally free, especially for you to monetize or to understand how to use social media. It's super appealing if you share your pictures. Not everyone is comfortable with that. I understand. If you share a flyer, whatever you're talking about, you can, even if you're not selling anything, you can just put it in a nice flyer. It can be a quote, it can be a phrase about anything, or you can create a little video. Flyers, videos, especially videos, do extremely well on social media. We no longer listen, we scroll, we just skim through and move on. We don't read, actually, not listen, we don't read. Listening, I think we still do listen, but we don't read. Nobody sits to pay attention to like reading exactly what you posted. So there's obviously a skill to learn for you to make sure that you're getting engagement, you're getting good impressions on your post. And you start small, you will learn. You start small. With time, you'll become very good at it. So we have Canva, which you can use Canva, the free version. I think the paid version is about $7, which is about 100 pulla. But you can still truly leverage on the free version. Of course, I have my AI tools that I truly, truly love that I've learned even to use. Before AI became a thing, I was pathetic with design. I had to learn because obviously sometimes it's a struggle to get the designer to design for you within the short time that you want something designed, or you don't even have the money to pay the designer. So I've been using Gamma AI. I can post the link, which helps me from creating flyers, from creating proposals. and I have never paid for Gamma. It's quite expensive, and you can still make money out of it. So I leverage on, I share. When I get onto these platforms, I pose as an affiliate partner. I sign up to market them. So for every person that I share the links for the tools that I use, I get paid by the platform. And that helps me. So some platforms, they don't pay me in cash. I want you to pay me by giving me the points to allow me to keep on using your platform so that I don't have to start worrying about, but I need to pay for this for me to do that. No, I leverage on, give me some points or make it cheaper for me. So Canva is pretty good. We have ChatGPT and we have so many other language learning models. I'm sure some of you are using Gemini. They all have their their um, their sort of their weaknesses and their strengths. So you choose, you know what you're looking for. We have Perplexity, which is very, very good for research. That's what I've used. I use like 3 or 4 different platforms at any given time, subject to what I'm looking for and what I want. Of course, you have to apply your reasoning. This is a tool, and sometimes it can give you garbage. It's literally garbage in, garbage out. Then this CapCut, which is super awesome. You can create your little basic videos using CapCut. There's so many other platforms like InVideo. I've actually used quite a lot of InVideo without paying for it. CapCut, I think you pay about, it's less than $10, I think, to pay for CapCut, which obviously gives you better when you pay. Then of course we have Notion, we have Google Docs. Notion is super, super brilliant. I hope a lot of you are using Notion. We have
Miss Kim,
yes,
may I interrupt you? Sorry. Um,
yes.
I'm wondering if these all these tools that you're mentioning, because there are quite a lot of them, are they
Mm.
listed in this book that you've provided for people to download? In other words, I want to make sure that folks who are listening to your presentation today will be able to go somewhere to see what are these tools and they can try them out for themselves because you're moving quite quickly. Okay.
Yes, apologies for moving quickly. They're all there. They're all written. I think the last page of this book, it's a free book, and you can DM if you're not able to access it through Gumroad. That's one of the platforms I use for selling my digital assets. This one, I'm giving it out for free until 25th of this month for anybody who wants to download. And from 25th of this month, I'm going to monetize it. I'll start selling this book, which is it's another business that you can do. You create a book, it's super easy. I think creating this book might have taken me 4 to 5 hours maximum. And so far, I have more than 100 books of this free book downloaded, which is what I do. In most cases, I start with free because when you give for free, you also get feedback from people. Then you go back, you create volume two, which now you tweak the little things that people give you feedback. That I wish I saw this one. I would love to learn more about this one. So now you make it much more comprehensive, and then you start monetizing your book. Just starting small really really helps. Think big, start small, learn fast, and don't be scared of making mistakes. I can go to the next one if I've answered your question. Do you want me to explain a bit about the book?
Yeah, you've answered my question, but of course, as always, many other questions come up. And the one question, because it's a nice thing that you're able to do. So let's say you are a farmer and you're passionate about farming mushrooms, just as an example.
Yes.
How does that person now, because you talked about how quickly you were able to develop this book where it's a guide, you're providing a guide for people who want to learn what AI can do for them. And I'm
Mhm.
sure, I guess based on what you're saying, a lot of people are keen to understand what AI can do for them. So if there's somebody who's really passionate and would like to share a guide, what are the
Mhm.
basic steps that you need to follow in order to put together a guide that you can then post onto LinkedIn, to encourage people to utilize it? And then, like you say, if you're interested in making a little bit of money from it, you can also monetize. How does that work?
Thank you. Okay, so do you want me to talk about how they can increase their production, or you want me to talk about how they can monetize their skill of farming mushroom?
Gosh, okay, I hadn't even gone there. I'm focused on the your ability to create a guide that will
Mm-hmm.
serve other people who are mushroom farmers.
Aha,
Does
I
that make
love that.
sense? Yeah.
Yes. So there are actually so many different revenue streams that you can monetize from the skill that you already have. I'll start with my favorite. I teach and I make money from teaching. And guess what I love so much about teaching? The more you teach, the more you learn. Because every day before you show up for a lesson, you prepare again for the lesson. And some of the spaces are extremely dynamic. I love teaching, talking about digitalization, the use of digital platforms. I love talking about technology. I love programming. I think I love anything tech. How to, I mean, entrepreneurship still in tech space. But every time I look into the audience I'm going to teach and I customize my training program as per that particular audience. So, guess what that does? I bag another skill. And guess what that does? Every time I prepare a proposal to teach people, I create that becomes my social media content. I'll post the same proposal on my social media platforms, which then creates a ripple effect. And this is why I call social media platforms the gift that keeps on giving. It just rewards you in so many different ways. Then I can come up with a video from the same proposal, and I'll also create a course. So this course that I've created to go teach a particular sector, let's say it's a particular corporate that has hired me to go and train. I'll come back, tweak it a little bit subject to the questions that came from that forum. And then I will sell my course. So I've sold it to company A, and I come back, I'll put it on my social media platforms, and I'll sell my course. And I can still transition that particular course into a book. You get it? So I look into which questions did people ask? What are people struggling with? You have to be a very good listener for you to monetize. Don't think about you what you like. It's one of the biggest mistakes we make. It's so easy for us to constantly want to focus on what we like. It's not about me, it's about the market. What questions did people from Botswana ask me that they're struggling with, which could be very different from people in South Africa? What is their pressure point? How can I solve that problem? So I'm farming my mushrooms. Somebody needs to understand the journey before and after. How do I prepare the land for me to farm my mushroom? Where do I source for the product and how do I do it? There is a skill that I can monetize. And then the entire training, the how-to guide, I can monetize that as a separate class. And I can come into how do I make money? How do I sell my mushroom? Who are the buyers? How do I find the buyers? How do I make sure that my product is very well positioned when I take it to the supermarket? How do I even negotiate with these supermarkets for me to have my product listed? If I'm exporting, how did I get into the export market? That's a skill that people need, and you can monetize that skill. Do I answer you, Miss Judith?
Absolutely. You're answering me and creating a great deal of excitement because I can see how others who have probably never ever thought about taking their farming skills to social media can do that. You know, whatever it is that they're doing out there, they will find a way to translate that into something that will benefit others on platforms such as LinkedIn. Thank you, Miss Kim.
You're most welcome. They actually, you know, there are so many ways that you can look into monetizing the skill that you have. So when you think about that, just going back a little bit to the mushroom story, when you position yourself as an expert and you go out there and show up and you're telling people, this is what I'm doing, straight up, you stand as an authority. You stand as a thought leader. you stand as an expert. And another key thing that makes it super smart and makes people now start coming to you to ask, how can I do this? Whatever you do, write a book. Writing a personal book, whether it's a journal or it's a business book, but write a book. It opens a world of opportunities. Don't just focus on writing a book for you to sell the book and make money from the sales. No. The book may not even give you money from the sales of the book. And that is where you find I've written so many books that I give for free. Most of my children's books are free. Because I mean, what is it costing me when I just put them on a platform? Do you know I actually make more with the books that I give for free? Because what happens the minute I'm giving for free, first it's fulfilling because then as a philanthropist, it brings the feel good feeling, which you can't put a price on. Two, when you see I've given you something for free, it's a trade-off for something. You want to know me more. You then, even when I ask you, okay, you want me to come to your country and do some consultancy for some training, okay, this is my fee. You're more than happy to pay. My books, a lot of my free books, they are downloads, they're online. Guess what happens? The more downloads, when I put my book free, I use Gumroad. That's my favorite platform. I'm transitioning to many other platforms. I'm actually, right now, we're transitioning to system.io. That's where we're going to sell a lot of our books. But I've still sold a lot on Gumroad. So when my books are on Gumroad, what happens is the more downloads, free downloads on Gumroad, the higher my book ranks. So what does that help? It helps my shop. You will come, you'll download the free book, and then you'll see another one that's listed right next to my free book. And the other one is $5, it's $10, it could be $20. You know what happens? They end up buying the other one that I'm selling. And then obviously there's a perception with free. Sometimes it's taken for granted. So it is so important for you to monetize it. That's why I give free some products, it's for a limited time, and then I monetize it. So I just go back, I tweak the system and put it for sometimes it's $2. I have a lot of products I just sell $2, $5, $10, depends. And there's such a good feeling when you start making passive income. When I check on my phone, I see a click and I see somebody bought 5 books. Sometimes you get somebody who comes and buys 100 books to go and distribute. It's just $2, yes, but look at the volumes. $2 times 100, and it didn't have to be part of the customer journey. How nice is that? And guess the best feeling is through your skill, you've improved someone's life. You can never put a price on that. That phone call that you get, that's, yeah.
No,
You want
go
to say
ahead,
something?
finish. I was just getting
That
excited. No, please, please finish. I was just getting
it,
excited, Miss Kim. Please finish your sentence and then I will jump in.
it is so beautiful when you see somebody, sometimes you see it on social media, somebody will be talking about your book, a book that you gave for free. You gave for free some years back, some months back, and moved on with life and even forgot about it. But some child sitting somewhere in some village in Nigeria adores that book. And somebody comes, shows up, and talks about your book. You can't put a price on that. And even if you sold it, you still served the world, you still served humanity, you served your community. Somebody needed that skill, that knowledge that you gave. Thank you, Miss Yodit. Over to you.
The knowledge that you gave, the skill that you shared, but also sometimes it could just be a lesson that you've learned in your life journey. And the reason I'm saying all of this is because, and why I'm getting excited, is because for those people who may have joined us, who are authors, who've written books, who have spent a lot of money publishing books, because I know that it costs quite a lot of money to publish books. It means that there is an alternative, and the alternative is to somehow get that book online. Miss Kim, I know we're derailing a little bit, but I just wanted you to explain Gumroad. What is it? How do people access it? How can they put their books there? And then start this process of giving a few free copies and then monetizing. But specifically talk about the tool.
Thank you. So we have so many. Okay, well, you see, I just mention or just focus on the one that I'm passionate about, but there's so many platforms that you can sell your books on. A lot of people, I think actually a lot of people sell them on Amazon. I'm not sure we have so many people. I don't know. I don't have the statistics on how many sell on Gumroad. But I've found Gumroad a very easy online platform to use. It's so much used by creators to sell their digital assets or physical products online without the need for you to create a website or to have tech skills. There's always that intimidation on, I don't know how to navigate a particular platform. I need to create a website for me to sell my product. No, you don't have to. As much as right now, you can create your own website within an hour or less. It's become super easy. You don't need to be a coder for you to create your own website, but you can start with Gumroad, which makes it much easier for you to sell. It can be your ebooks, it can be your online courses, it can be your training videos, your PDFs, your templates, your worksheets. A lot of people are making money with worksheets. You can also sell memberships. Memberships is quite a thing. People are really monetizing memberships or subscriptions. And you can also sell physical items. Now, why I love Gumroad and I stick on using Gumroad is, and I'll share the link on how you can join Gumroad after this session. There are no monthly fees. So you only pay a very small percentage per after your sale. Gumroad makes money after you make money. So it's in their interest to make sure that you win. It's super friendly. I I think as we age, I'm a little bit slow with tech integration. It can take me longer than it used to, as much as I love tech. But I see with Gumroad, I did it for myself. I still wake up like literally every other day, check on how my products are doing, tweak them, add something. So it's very easy. It's beginner friendly. You can upload your product, you add a price, you put a link. But then remember, you still have to go out there and sell your product. So I make a habit when any of my product or any of my content goes viral on LinkedIn or any social media platform, on the comment section, I try as much as I can to tailor make my conversation to lead you into my shop. That is my shop on Gumroad. Gumroad will also accept your payments, which it's a bit of it can be a pain in Africa, the payments integration. But with Gumroad, I get my money through PayPal. I can also integrate with other platforms, but for now, I just get my money through PayPal. And if I was selling physical product, it also handles delivery, but I don't really bother with any physical products. For now, I monetize so much on my e platforms. So how it works, you just sign up, you upload your product, you set your price, you get a sales link, and then you start selling. You start making money. It can be your coaching classes, it can be your ebook, it can literally be anything. Does that answer you?
Absolutely. And I'm loving that your dogs are appreciating your conversation as well, Miss Kim. It's all good. I know you don't like it when they bark, but that's what they have to do. Yes, I'm appreciating this a lot. I'm hoping that those folks online will start accessing some of these tools, those who are interested in sharing publications that they've come up with. And now you're mentioning all kinds of other documents. If you've developed them yourself, you can now monetize something that I'd never quite thought about before. So it looks like there are opportunities for a lot of different types of people, and it doesn't matter where you are. You can actually start utilizing it. But what I think, and I've always found this very exciting, is the fact that when you are on these platforms, you are talking to people literally across the world. And so somebody sitting in Botswana might just very well attract the attention of somebody sitting in Brazil, simply because you're discussing a product or an issue that they're also grappling with and looking for solutions for. So, to those of you who have joined us this afternoon, I'm hoping that you are going away with something to think about. And hopefully, you're also going to leave many questions that Ms. Kim can address at another session that I'm sure she's going to be putting together very soon. Miss Kim, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you. And yes, indeed. I love it that you're encouraging people. Truly, we all have something that you can put out there and make some money from. There are some posters I created, I think about 2 years ago. Beautiful posters. My posters didn't sell. I was very disgruntled until when I started getting very active, which is another mistake we make as business people. We assume we know what people want and then we burn the midnight oil creating. I would strongly discourage you from creating before you assess the market. Don't create, don't sit and start working on a course that you've not tested. Do people really want that course? And that is where you prepare from the course that you want to, just do a high level or a book that you want to. First, try to see how many people will ask you. Try to create something small for free, put it out there. When you get feedback and people are asking for more, then sit and bat the midnight oil creating that. You can create a waiting list where you're actually going like, I'm going to sit and write this book after I get 10 people that want. Then I know straight up as soon as my book is ready, I have 10 people to buy my book, which gives me money to then go and and polish it, make it better, or print hard copies, or even invest in marketing. So I made that mistake, and because sometimes I get excited about something and I just go like, whatever, I'm just burning time. I'm gonna create this. So those posters, I started giving them out for free. And then I started monetizing them on Gumroad. My posters are on Gumroad, and right now they're my fastest selling product. I started with making a mistake. When you're passionate about something, sometimes you think you want to dictate the price. So I was selling them at $10. They were stuck. I went to five. They started selling when I put them on $2. So I've put them on $2. Yet every day I'm selling 10 to 20. So does it make sense? You put on 10, you go for months without a sale, you put on $2 or $3, and then every day you're selling 10 to 20. And again, I'll emphasize on besides the sale that you're making, through you, a child has a beautiful poster on their wall. I've learned so much. I learned so much as a child because that was my mom's habit. My mom was a teacher and she used our lounge was like a classroom. You know how
I
frisky.
Yeah, and it is something, and I'm actually now beginning to remember some of the things that we had, and tools. I guess they were tools that would teach you. In addition to posters, nowadays you find placemats. I love those placemats that have, the map of the world, and your child hopefully will glance over and look at some of these things whilst they're eating. But you've also raised something else, Miss Kim, and I'm sorry to interrupt you again, but there's this thing about if you sell your products for a price that seems very low. So you went from $10 to $2, and you find, as the business person behind that product, you find that it's selling better at $2. And you did this without fear of people thinking, this thing for $2, what could it be worth? In other words, you were not worried that the actual value of that poster is not being, what's the correct word, undervalued. So sometimes I find that, and we find that people will overprice something because they believe that if they lower it too much, the public will think, this thing is so cheap, it's probably worthless. Can you speak to that a little bit, Miss Kim? Because I find, especially younger entrepreneurs who are entering the market, or sometimes even older ones, feel that they don't want their brand to be perceived as a cheap brand.
Thank you. I love that question. It all boils down to how you position your marketing. So you have to be super smart to say, so you put, there's a $10. If you go to my Gumroad, you'll see this $10 and a slash. I slash it to, this book is on special for 20 days, for 30 days. For 20 days, you can buy it at $2. So that does not reduce the value of my book. That just shows this is years of experience, there's trial and error. These are the tools that can help you and avoid costly mistakes. So I price to reflect the value, not just the final packaging. So I know my poster, my book is worth much more. But at this particular time, I'm giving away for free or and I open for a very short period. You don't allow that to be that's the price. So you find especially on some of these platforms, you have people that keep checking every other day. Has she put something on special? And I also put this towards month end. So I can say from 20th to 30th of this month, you can get this book at $20, but the original price is $10. Gumroad also allows you to request people to purchase at the price they want to. So somebody who is in my space of social enterprise, you get people that will see this poster is valued at $2. But I see this person, what she is doing in Africa, and I want to give back. So I'm going to buy it at $5. You get a lot of that. People who see value in what you're selling and then give it at a better price. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And you'd never, I hadn't even thought about that. So it's something, and as you said at the beginning, if you are working on finding a solution for a challenge or a problem that people have, and you're now developing different ways of addressing it. And for you, one of the ways of educating children is by creating posters that they can look at, that parents can frame and put up in the bedroom, and it'll help them. By the way, very one of my friends did that with language. She developed flashcards and posters as well to teach children languages. And but I'm not sure how she's doing now. But I remember at the time thinking this is amazing because you put it up and the children read it, but you underestimate its power. And this is where now social media comes in, Miss Kim, because if you were just selling it in a bookstore at a prescribed price, you would not get the other benefits that you get from having it on a platform that attracts the attention of people from all over the world. So you'll find those people who want to give take advantage of that and add a few more dollars so that you have more to use to create hopefully more products that will assist children and their learning. That's wonderful.
I'm glad you like that. It's
Love it.
it's it goes back to selling. You see, like I have my books at Botswana Book Center. They don't sell as much. And it's so difficult when you're also selling print copies to reduce the price too much. You can't. But when it's an ebook, the most that I
Yeah,
want to monetize on is my efforts for putting it on social media and to pay my social media, my digital marketing team. And
yeah,
there are months I'll be like, I'm okay if I don't make money as long as salaries are paid.
yeah,
Mm. But
absolutely.
when you put it, yeah, when you put it at the book center, there's your cost of printing that you have to take care of.
Yep. And
Yeah.
other overheads. Absolutely, Miss Kim. No, I'm sold. I like it. I actually love this idea, and I'm hoping again that I'm sure we have a lot of creative people. Hopefully, some of them have joined us this afternoon who can take this away and see how do they repackage some of the things that they've developed to take advantage of some of these opportunities, and we would have never known. I had no idea. Thank you, Ms. Kim. We're now sitting at 5:15. So um, I'm hoping that folks are still with us, but we need to start wrapping up soon. Ms.
Yes,
Kim?
maybe I can just, yeah, I can explain a little bit on collaboration because this speaks volumes.
Absolutely. No, I think you
Um,
should go ahead and finish. Maybe we can
yeah,
finish by 5:30. Is that okay?
yeah, that's okay. That's okay. So
Okay.
now collaboration, you can't be an island. And you're not gonna build alone. It is so difficult to build to scale up alone. Collaboration literally means working with others, not just for them, but to combine strengths. We all have something to give. So share your resources and achieve a common goal, which you're going to achieve it faster and smarter than when you're doing it alone. I think with the African setup, we have so many proverbs explaining that you can't go far when you go alone. You want to build, you come together. And this really, really matters. So you share your strength and you build a better impact. You might have the ideas, but someone else has the network. Someone else has the audience. Somebody has the tech skills. Somebody will fill up the gap that you need filled. And this happens when you show up with the energy to give. If there's something that gives back, is that spirit of giving. And you don't actually give because you're expecting to be given in return. I just think it's the way the world works or the universe rotates. Just enables you. You're giving, you're out there sharing with zero expectations. You can grow and grow faster when you partner with someone who already has the tools or systems. This can help you skip years of trying to do something. So I leverage so much on working with a lot of different mentors for specific fields. I want to be smarter with managing my finances. I look up to people who just focus on financial um, intelligence. I listen to them, and it can just be a podcast that I follow. Some of them don't even know. I want anything to do with sustainability. I know I'll call Miss Yodit and I'll ask her, and how do we go about this? I love there are things that I'm just passionate about and I'm not monetizing them like climate action. I know Miss Unity is my go-to person when I'm thinking about should we start a campaign on planting trees. You see? And from there, rather than sit and research and start everything. So this also helps me access a market. I have so many people, especially on LinkedIn, that just tag me on opportunities they see. They tag me because I also tag them. And some of them, I don't even know them. I don't even help them specifically. But we don't just help those who help us. So that simple collaboration opens doors, opens for you new clients, new opportunities without spending money on advertising. Then, of course, this will boost your credibility. When you collaborate with someone, especially respected in their specific fields, it elevates your reputation. You stand as a smart person who knows how to work with the community. And this can be, if I can give a few examples, like you co host a webinar or a product. When I'm very hectic, I block joining other people's podcasts, but I have to still make those sacrifices. I think like my third week of my last week of May is so busy. I'll be in Sierra Leone virtually. I'm hosting. I've been invited for a podcast. Next, I think I'll be in Nigeria. There's another one for Ethiopia university students, and quite often I don't know these people that just come and ask me. As long as I do my little due diligence and see you're ethical, you're talking about education, I'm happy to give. I'm happy to come and help. So you could host a website, a podcast, you model your products and help and give. Train the trainer programs. Sometimes I train for free. Sometimes I do corporate partnerships that I don't monetize. And sometimes I just do joint ventures. We have something like the Happiness Tribe, that we are a team of people and we just give back to the community. So I don't have to do everything alone. It's very nice also to allow yourself to sit as a board member. I think I'm in four organizations that I sit as a board member. I sit there and I learn a lot. I give what I have and I also receive. So there are different ways that you can form some partnerships. You volunteer in some cases, and there are obviously some cases that you need to monetize. Helpful, Miss Judith?
Thank you, Miss Kim. You've shared quite a lot of very valuable advice. I'm going to call it advice, especially the one around collaborating. Why go it alone when you can combine forces with others who are doing the same thing and launch a business that's much bigger, that's more impactful, and that will definitely make you more money? I think sometimes we believe that, it's better for me to start my own little thing. I'll make more money that way because I won't have to deal with other people's issues, etc. I mean, obviously, there's a lot that goes into partnerships. You have to have the personality to be able to engage with somebody else and develop the relationship, nurture it, learn to ignore things that irritate you, etc. But there's so much value in that. I really like the advice that you've given around collaboration, and of course, I love the way you link it all back to kindness and giving and making that part of what you do as your business ethos. Did I pronounce that properly? Because you'll find that people who do that and people who work like that will more often than not attract the similar types of people who are interested in, one, ensuring that the communities around them continue to develop and grow whilst their business is also developing and growing. So I appreciate that, Miss Kim, and thank you for those reminders. And for those people who are trying to set up businesses that are going to be competing, and you know that there are already 10 other people doing the same thing, maybe there's something to picking up the phone and calling or going over to them and say, I have a different angle from which you can approach this. Maybe we can work together. And especially for young people who are struggling to get the necessary capital and support to start businesses, that might be the way to go about it. Thank you, Ms. Kim. I'm handing back over to you.
And thank you, Miss Judith. This I love this phrase. Think big, start small, learn fast. Like literally, I've made it my. I want to use a different word than mantra. Those things that we chant every day. What do we call them?
Uh, I can only think mantra, Miss Kim. Sorry.
Okay, let's just call them. Let's just call them mantras. So it's something that constantly, and I think it's very important. We all need to have things that we speak to ourselves about as we speak to others. So this is my go-to slogan every day: think big, start small, learn fast. If there's something that we all know by now, it's inevitable, it's failure. Failure is inevitable. Fail fast, fail forward. Embrace failure. What you're not allowed not to do is to try. You must try. That is not, it's not optional. We have to try, we have to show up. Don't wait. And I'm working with a very strict person who is very, very particular on something has to be packaged nicely. She's called me every day. But I think as a very intentional hustler, I try. But if I wait until my podcast is world class, until I have the right equipment, I might wait until the kingdom comes. So I get out there, I start, I polish it, I learn, and I embrace that there are days that my internet will fail me and I was ready to show my face, meet the audience. But this is what we talk about constantly polishing our soft skills. We have to be adaptable, we have to be problem solvers. What there's no excuse for in life is showing up. Showing up, we have to. So, on this, think big, start small, and learn fast. It's a powerful success mindset, especially for entrepreneurs or wannabe entrepreneurs, creatives, and change makers. Don't limit your dream. Imagine the full potential. I can wake up with tupula, hella, and I'll still be telling you, my birthday is in a month's time and I want to celebrate in Singapore. Why not? What should stop me from dreaming? Right?
Absolutely.
I
Mm.
should. Right now, I have the government of Trinidad and Tobago. We're discussing how I should go to Trinidad and Tobago to do some training. I'm trying to believe in it. I'm watching videos. I'm excited about it just because I love to travel. Just appreciating how beautiful that island is. And it might happen. It may not happen. We move on. So I always have my dream of reaching 1 million learners, transforming education, and literally setting up the continent, paving that path. Since I'm setting up that foundation and I'm having that dream, it may not happen in my lifetime, but if I create a good foundation, the ones coming after me will then take up the ones that I'm training every day, right? What I can't do is get on the journey alone and also get to realize I can still, with that, my thinking big, I'll attract others who are passionate about it. I'll attract partners and I'll be able to get some perspective and see it can be done. On smarting small, funding, I understand, especially within our content, can be quite a pain. But that's where we start with the minimum viable products that we can leverage on. Start with that one course, one ebook, one client, one training, but start. Start with just packaging that small portion of land that you can farm your mushroom. Start with the roadside sales. Start with your church, your community, calling 4, 5 parents and asking, can you buy my mushrooms? What you just have to do is you have to start. You also have to learn fast and you have to be adaptable so that you can improve quickly. Be very smart on getting feedback. Improve and repeat. Learn from your mistakes and get that and be very mindful and very okay to accept and appreciate those who come back and tell you, but your mushrooms were not tasty. What fertilizer did you use? I thought they're organic, but they're tasting like this and that. Don't get discouraged. If anything, encourage them to keep telling you. When I wrote my first book, I sent it to so many educators because first I was doubting myself because I have never sat in class to be taught to be a teacher. And I've always second guessed myself in my ability to teach just because professionally I'm not a trained teacher. And those who I gave who don't know that I'm not a trained teacher, they give it accolades. Our former Minister of Education looked at my book and said, what? This is world class. This book should be put on every learner's hands. And this, he's not just a doctor, he's a former Minister of Education and he's a trained teacher who has been in classroom, right? And yet he approved my book. And straight up that boosted my self-esteem. So you have to be keen to reiterate, improve where you're told this book needs this and that, but also get to know that you can go to 50 towns asking people, everybody has an opinion. So if you keep on checking on who approves my product, who says it's good enough, you're not scale, you're not sell your product. Sometimes you just need to focus and sell to those who appreciate as you also try to improve for the other market. So feedback is great. Improve on that feedback. Let customers be your guide for the next step. This really matters. With time, you find that there are things that are just on your fingertips. You don't struggle to do them, you know how to do them. So make sure you have your clear offer, you have your target market, and you're promoting your product and do it religiously every day. We want to grow, but sometimes and quite often we do not want the price that goes with growth. There's a price to pay. There's no free lunch. I think we've all come to learn that. There's no free lunch. If something is free, you are the price, you are the product. Miss Judith?
Wow. Thank you, Miss Kim. I love the way how this podcast has, I don't know if I should use the word develop, but it certainly has developed into a story of, in addition to what you've said, think fast, start small, or is it learn fast? It's also, you're also demonstrating the importance of resilience, of persistence, and faith, that you have to keep picking yourself up. You have to be willing to open up your mind and learn new things. And today we were talking about using technology and AI to start your side hustles. And you stated that it doesn't matter what age you are, you can start learning. And so we should never doubt ourselves. And when we do, there's always someone out there. You spoke about your community that will remind you that indeed you have something that you can share and something that will help you build the business of your dreams. So I love the way in which you have shared your journey whilst trying to teach us, some of the things that we can pick up. But I want to also remind, for those of you in Botswana, Botswana is a country where we have peace. It's something that we take for granted. But when you look at other countries, other parts of our continent, a lot of countries are at war. And so there are certain things that we have in Botswana that we do not have elsewhere. So and we also have certain structures that have been set up to support people who want to become entrepreneurs. We're pushing entrepreneurship because we know and understand that it's not always easy to get a job, or you have a job and you've lost it for whatever reason. You still need to feed your family. So entrepreneurship is the way. You also then you're able to create jobs. And I just a reminder to say that for those of you who've tried to go to some of these entities that have been set up to support young people and their entrepreneurship journey, be persistent. Be persistent. Do not give up. Those entities were set up to support you. And there are very few places where you can go and access credit at such low interest rates. Again, structures that have been set up to enable young entrepreneurs. So be persistent. And where you're not sure, do not be afraid to ask questions. I think that's another thing, Ms. Kim, is you have to be able to continuously ask questions, reach for those mentors. Ms. Kim mentioned that some of the people that she works with and mentors and seeks mentorship from are people she's never met. So it's important for us to remember that, and to remember that it's never too late to start. Miss Kim, I just had to say that I really do appreciate what you've done for us today. I'm probably one of your biggest experiments, but we'll see. The last thing that I want to mention now, I know you're about to close, is the one thing that's important with technology and everything else, and Miss Kim did mention it, is the due diligence that's necessary. You have to go and find out and make sure that what you're about to get into is legitimate. You have to make sure that the people you're working with are legitimate, that they're not out to scam you. I know Miss Kim didn't get into that today. We were going to try, but we'll leave that for another session. You have to be careful of people who are not interested in making change, positive change. They're only interested in feeding themselves. So do your due diligence. And if you don't know what that means, you must ask. I'm very grateful for this session, Miss Kim. Thank you so much. I learn every day from you, and I do appreciate the knowledge that you have to share, the wisdom, and the courage that you're giving other people. I'm hoping that those who have joined us will know that there is something out there for everyone, and it's never too late for you to start learning AI and technology, and you'll be amazed how simple it actually is. Some of it is difficult, but it's okay because there's someone there who can advise you. So don't ever feel that you are not fit enough to do other things for yourself, to help yourself and your families and your communities. Thank you so much, Miss Kim. I'm handing over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I love the encouragement. I mean, we all need someone our cheerleader who tells us, keep going, you're doing the right thing. Thank you so much. And I'm so glad you mentioned to our listeners, there are opportunities out there. Somebody is sitting somewhere looking for someone to hire who has the skill that you have. Somebody is looking for somebody to help them brand. It could be their simausu, it could be, I mean, their spaza shop, it could be anything. You have to show up. Otherwise, when you just sit in your house, you're making your CV collect dust, you're not showing up, you're not trying, the world is going to move on and forget about you. And with time, you find you're just losing value, you're shrinking. You are not born to shrink or play small. The world is waiting for your fire, your voice, your brilliance. You need to unlock that potential. Start boldly, build your legacy, speak louder, face your fears. And with time, it becomes your second nature. You won't just monetize your skill, but you'll also be serving the world. And if you can get into that, don't look at profits first. First, look at, am I helping someone? And guess what? Profits come. Money will still find you somehow. Thank you so much, our dear listeners. We apologize for the glitches we've had, but you're going to get this sent. Those who signed up through our StreamYard, you get automatically this will send the entire podcast to you. We're also going to edit it again and put it on our YouTube platforms. Please note this show will happen every Thursday at 4 p.m. Join us. And if you would like to come to the studio virtually, please let us know. We'd love to host you. Let's share. Tell us your expertise. Tell us your struggles. We don't claim to know everything. We're here to learn. Miss Judith, thank you so much for, as always, being an awesome guest and co host. If you'd want to give your closing remarks, we're happy to listen. And then we're going to say goodbye until next week.
No, thank you, Miss Kim. I think I've said enough, and I know that we've kept folks who stayed with us for a lot longer than what we initially intended. So, just to appreciate everybody who is online with us, and just to say that if you have any questions or comments, please do put them. It helps us to refine these podcasts so that we answer specific questions that you may have. And just to reiterate Ms. Kim's invitation, if you are somebody who has started utilizing technology, AI, etc., to help your business, and you have a story that you'd like to share, please do join us. You can write to Ms. Kim and let her know, and we'd be very happy to have you join us. And hopefully next time we won't have these glitches that we had today. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. Take good care.
Thank you, and goodbye.